Good morning and welcome in on this Monday morning. Apologies if you can hear the fan whirring away in the background. I've got that on because I've not got the windows open. I was doing a little bit of gardening yesterday evening and had really quite a reaction and a half, a hay fever type reaction that I haven't had in a little while. So I am this morning trying to avoid opening windows and doors, but that does mean it's a bit warm in here, so I've got the fan on. But hopefully all will be well. I've got my cup of tea, I've got a drink of water, and hopefully we are good to go. So hoping you are all well on this bright and sunny Monday morning. Well, it's a bright and sunny Monday morning here, and I hope it's a nice day wherever you are. Do come on and say hello if you're joining us live. Who have we got? We've got Lisa, we've got Emma. Morning, ladies. I thought today we're in a really funny sort of position at the moment because we have a big catalogue launch on Wednesday. So Wednesday is the day that the new annual catalogue goes live, and I'm allowed to open the pages for you. I'm not allowed to show you inside at the moment. Hopefully lots of you will already have your own copies, but I can't share the inside of the catalogue with you until Wednesday. So we're in that sort of a position where we're right at the end of the old catalogue. If there's anything still on the retiring list that you want that's still available, you need to get it quickly, because you've only got today and tomorrow to do that. So do check that out. If there's anything you want, don't leave it any later than that. So we're at that sort of strange point where we're on the turn. We're not quite into the new catalogue yet, and I don't want to spend too much time on new catalogue things now because that's for Wednesday and beyond. What will we play with the rest of the week if we've played with all of those things today? So I want something that is still current, that is going to carry over into the new catalogue, and that fits the theme of the day. And it struck me that here in the UK there's some schools starting to go back today. Very sort of tenterly and gingerly, one or two. Some of the schools are opening up just to some of the children. So this little stamp set here that's got its to an A+ teacher seemed very appropriate for today. So that's what we're going to have a play with, the Harvest Hello. So this Harvest Hello stamp set is carrying over. Obviously you've got these gorgeous, this apple, the pumpkin that you can use. You've got your apple slice just here. You've got a pumpkin face if you want it. Nice sort of seeds outline. And you make me smile, so the sort of idea of apples are good for your teeth. Give thanks, feel better soon. Hey there pumpkin, and say to an A+ teacher, and you've got these leaves and the swivelly bits and the stalks and all of those sorts of things in this cute little stamp set. That's quite useful. And along with that cute little stamp set there is a punch that punches out leaves and stalks and apples and pumpkins. So that seemed like a good idea to play with this morning. Morning Beryl, morning Janice, morning Hannah. So let's grab my trimmer and let's trim down a piece of A4 cardstock. And we'll make that 10 by, we'll make it 9.5 by 13.9. There we go, just like that. And I have got my stamps, I've got a variety of blends, a variety of inks. I'm also going to cut down another smaller rectangle to go on the top there, and I might actually, let's dig out our stitched rectangles. I've been spending I was up nice and early this morning, up with the lark. My head was just spinning round and round and round with all the things I've got to do. And in the end, I thought I'm just going to get up. This is silly. So I got up. So I've already been doing quite a bit this morning towards catalogue launch stuff that I needed to get done. So busy old morning already. Just grabbing a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock as well. So I'm going to trim this down to one bit to 14.4 by, looking at that, that doesn't look like Poppy Parade, that looks like real red. See, it was, I knew that wasn't quite right. Those are two very different reds. So let's try with a piece of Poppy Parade, because otherwise that will totally confuse the issue. And we'll go 14.4 by 10. Okay. So we got that mat there and that mat there. And then on the top we're going to have another red mat and another white mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my red mat from my red rectangle from the middle of my white mat. Yep, and I think I can cut my white rectangle from the middle of my white mat. I think we can get away with that. Let me just move my, I've got my tray of water here with my squidgy in it. Let me rest it down there so I don't knock it over. We don't need that sort of disaster first thing in the morning. So I'm just going to run these Morning Sarah through here. Through my big shot. So the other thing I seem to have managed to do yesterday while I was gardening, and as well as giving myself quite a dramatic hay fever reaction, was I appear to have been eaten by some insects. Got some bites on my leg. It's not good, is it, this gardening lark? Who said it was good for you? My garden is a terrible mess. The only good thing about it is the birds enjoy it. Right, so there we have a nice little stack. We've got Whisper White, Poppy Parade, Whisper White, Poppy Parade, Whisper White, a sneeze, excuse me, coming, and another one, and that's without the windows and doors open. Oh dear, what it is to be allergic to nice weather. Right, so I'm going to take this piece of white here first, and this is going to be the bit that's peeping out from behind there. So we're almost imagining that that's a whole little piece of, a full piece of card behind there. That's the optical illusion. I'm going to take some of these letter stamps. I'm going to take A, B and C. And I'm going to take, let's put them up on a block. We're going to be coming out here, sort of peeping out from behind the the front mats. So about like that. Let's pick all of those up and grab our black memento, I think. It's just, oh, got a blob just there. That's annoying, isn't it? We'll have to see if we can cover that up with something at some point. So we've got an A, a B and a C sort of coming out round that corner, and then we'll do the same down here. And we'll have stop sticking to my fingers. And an A, and a C and a B down that end. Excuse me while I go for a tissue. Oh dear, what a state to be in. Right, okay, what I'm going to take now is I'm going to look along my shelves. I want something sort of, might go painted poppies with the blobby stamps, I think. I'll take that little blobby stamp and some Poppy Parade ink. And we'll do some painty splatters coming out there. Now I'm going to take the apple stamp. So we've got both an apple here and a pumpkin, as I said. So I'm going to take the apple and I'm going to take the stalk, and I'm going to take this leaf because that one's much more of an appley leaf than the other one, which is more of a pumpkin leaf. I'm going to pop this centerpiece out of here because it's useful for storing a stamp, but is not helpful when it comes to stamping it. And let's take our memento and we'll stamp a nice apple on there. And then we'll take our stalk. Now with the stalk, for the apple, you want it coming that way with the wider bit at the bottom. But no, that's the other way round. For the apple, you want it with the narrowest bit at the bottom and the widest bit at the top. If you're doing the pumpkin, you have it the other way round with the narrowest bit at the top and the widest bit at the bottom. So we're going to turn it round so that we get our stalk coming this way. And then we've got our little leaf that we're going to add in. and we'll have one here. It's not quite joined up, but and one there. We've got a mucky mark just there. Let's get rid of that. That's a bit better. And then we've got this greeting that says to an A+ teacher that we're going to add in there as well. Now obviously you could have that saying, "You make me smile, get well soon." You could have had different images coming around the edge. We might put something a bit different in as well in a minute, we will see. Let's just move those out the way for a moment, because I'm now going to bring in my stamping blends. And I think we'll have Poppy Parade, Granny Apple Green, and yeah, I think that will do. And some soft suede, bit of Mango Melody, possibly, we will see. So let's start with the dark Poppy Parade, and we're going to come around the edge. So where this dark shading is, I'm going to put some dark Poppy Parade. Bring it in around the edge. I think I'm going to take some light Mango Melody as well. I'm going to just put in a little blob of that. And I'll come in with my light Poppy Parade. And I'm going to come all over the top. In fact, I might start with, take the brush end and just put down a covering, and then we'll come in with the bullet end. And work that together. I'm going to come over the top of that, sort of just blend so it's not bright orange, but there just is a hint of a sort of yellow blush about that bit just there. And what I might do as well is just grab, if I can find it, the colour lifter, and I think where we've done that yellow, I'm just going to do a bit of colour lifting as well. So it just sort of moves the colour to one side, it doesn't really lift it. And that sort of develops, it will get lighter as it goes along. Let's take a dark soft suede and we'll put in our stalk, and then we'll take some Granny Apple Green. So this is the dark one. Morning Div, morning Jane. Oh no, Lisa. Painted your fence and shed, Emma. Wonderful. Morning Angie, morning Megan. Morning Wendy. Lovely to see you all, ladies. It's lovely to see any gents, if there should happen to be any sneaking around in the background that haven't let themselves be known. But So there we have. Right. So if any ladies that have joined me since the beginning, I was saying that some of our schools are tentatively opening today. So we thought we'd go with apple for the teacher. I really must have got mucky fingers because I've got another mucky mark just there. It's one of those stamp sets that's really quite simple, but really, you know, quite effective. It's very nice. Now then, do we want... Just wondering if we want to add a bit of green to the... to that outside edge. Let me find my granny apple green. And then I think I'm going to take that little splodgy. Let me give it a bit of a clean. Oh yeah, my splodgy was very wet, so now everything is wet and it's not sticking. Not sticking to my block because it's too wet. Might stay. Just going to use the end of that. In fact, if it's not sticking on the block, we won't worry about it sticking on the block. I'm just going to add in some green splodges to that leaf, just like that. Okay. Let us start to bring this together a little bit. I'm going to stick my appley panel. My glue that's got lots in it but that doesn't want to come out. I need to leave that just there and remember to tackle it when we finish. This one is now going to be too warm. I think we can safely say there's not really very much left in that one. Third time lucky. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. See, down tools. Well, it's not that I've not been doing anything, I just haven't been crafting. Down tools for 24 hours and this is what happens. Right, let's put that on there. Let's get rid of that bit of glue. And then we'll put this onto our Poppy Parade mat. Like that. We'll get ourselves a nice thick whisper white card base. glue is now going to be just constantly running and not going to stop. I think my tools are under revolt today. I think it's because I've just said that I wasn't playing with them over the weekend. It's just, how dare you do paperwork and boring things when you should be playing with us. Don't come expecting us just to play this morning. Right, that's it. Let's put a lid on that and wipe that up. Glue everywhere. That is a sand eraser. Don't know if you can see that. There we go. I got mine from Amazon here. I think it was imported from somewhere else, but they came in packs of 2. So it's not a Stampin' Up product. And it actually just takes off the surface of the card very gently, is how it works. So you can't always get your inky marks off, but it's fairly successful. Certainly worth having one to try. With those little fuzzy finger marks. Put glue all over the back of that. I didn't want to necessarily, did I? You can tell I was up too early this morning, can't you? Brain is not functioning in the slightest. I think I've got the remainder of a little snail just here. Shall we see if we can... Let's go with snail. Now obviously snail is one of the things that is going out of the catalogue, but that doesn't mean that the concept of a tape runner is going out of the catalogue. In fact, in its place, we are getting 2. We are getting a standard tape runner and an extra strong tape runner. So if any of you were fans of Brain, do feel free to chip in. What was the other eraser we used to do? We used to do a Nike flick at the end. Nice strong one. When that comes back to me in a minute, if you were a fan of that particular adhesive, Fast Fuse, then you're going to like the new extra strong one that we've got coming our way. Look at this, I've got glue everywhere. Oh dear. I think it's a let's go back to bed and start again sort of a morning. I'll tidy that up in a bit. Right, so to an A+ teacher, shall we add something blingy on there? I think we'll make some of our blingies Poppy Parade red. In fact, perhaps we'll do 2 Poppy Parade and 1 Granny Apple Green, because, well, quite frankly, because we can. You have a red and a red and a green. So there's quite a nice little simple card. So if you have got children that are just returning to school, or even if you've got a teacher that's been doing exceptionally good work teaching them online. So here's one for you. Emma and all those others that I know that may tune in now or tune in later, Francis and anybody else that we know that's been doing a cracking job of trying to carry on the hard job of educating our children when they're not able to be in class, or when being in class is going to be so very, very different. And both my eldest daughter and my future daughter-in-law have both returned to nursery today. Not themselves, they're a bit older than that, but they both returned to work in nurseries today. My other daughter, who also works in a nursery, is still on furlough at the moment, but she's also 22 weeks pregnant, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. But lots of people starting the tentative process of returning to work. So there's one for all the teachers and nursery nurses out there that are returning to work today. But let's have another card, and this time in my mind, we don't know what we're going to work out like. I've got the thought of this beautiful weather and picnics, even if it's a picnic in the garden. Let's just wipe this and get rid of some of the sticky. Or even an indoor picnic if you're somewhere where the weather isn't quite so nice. Let's give this a bit of a wipe. Right, so we'll take this piece of Whisper White card and we will score it at 10.5 to give us a card base, but I think this time we're going to have it landscape rather than portrait. And I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White card. Let's find ourselves a piece of Whisper White card that measures, I'm going to go 12 centimetres square, I think. Which is a very odd size to have, because obviously that's much too big for that card, but there is some method in my madness occasionally. I'm going to grab my Stamparatus, been doing that a lot recently. But this time I'm grabbing it because we're going to use our buffalo check stamp to create, might have to trim that down a little bit, to create a, where are you, buffalo stamp? To create a background. It's very odd. Where have you gone? I know we had you the other day. I've already got it out, that's why. I was so organised, I've confused myself. Never a good thing. Let's pick that up. Now we know that that is on that. We may need to trim this down a little bit when we've finished, but it will nearly cover that, which is okay. Okay, so we have got our buffalo check stamp and a piece of Whisper White card. I'm now going to ink this up with Mango Melody ink. Rattling on the pencil sharpener back there. Right, now I know that that's going to leave a bit of a gap either side, but I can take that down a bit, that's fine. Let's give that a really good press all over. quick slurp of my tea. Let's give that another rub while if it's stuck, that's fine. That's pretty good. I don't think I'm going to worry about going in a second time on that one. So I will just come in now and trim that down. If we trim it down this side as well, that's going to make it 11.3, I think. I'm going to swing it round and make it 11.3 the other way, so we're maintaining the square. There we are. A nice checked tablecloth for our picnic. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in our tablecloth. Let's put some snail on the back of there. And we will line that up so that it's on a wonk, but evenly wonky, so that we're sort of about the same here, top and bottom, same distance this way as much as we can. And then we'll turn it over and take our paper snips. And that's why obviously I wanted the square bigger than the card, because I wanted to be able to give us that sort of sense of a on the wonk on the grass. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab some oddments of I think we'll have some Poppy Parade and some Granny Apple Green, and we'll have some old olive as well for leaves. I think we'll grab our Stamparatus again, because we can. Take that off there for now. And give it a wipe to get rid of our Mango Melody. Now, if you remember last week, I dug around in my front pocket of my Stamparatus to see what stencils I'd got left in there. Oh, definitely is the hay fever, I think. Excellent. You're very welcome, Emma, to be loved. Let's have a look. Have we got an apple? We have. We have an apple stencil. If we hadn't, I'd have just stamped one out of some scrap card, which is all I've done with that one. But we do have an apple stencil. So let us line up our apple stencil in our Stamparatus. We will just make sure that it's the right way round and not backwards. That appears to be right. So let's grab a magnet and anchor that down. Have that apple just there. We'll have our little leaf. In there. No, stay in place. Stop sticking to my fingers. And then we want our little stalk in. There. And then we'll pick those up. Oh, I'm also going to want a little bit of soft suede as well. Okay, so let's grab our punch and our bits of scrap card. So Granny Apple Green, I want an apple. So let's punch an apple. I am going to get everything out of that, but I do actually only want the apple. So I'm going to have one Granny Apple Green apple, obviously appropriately named. We'll have a couple of Poppy Parade apples. 1, 2. Just pinched my belly in there. That was not sensible. It was a bit of an ouchy moment. And then we'll have some leaves. What I'm going to do for the leaves actually is I'm going to cut a strip. One, 2, and 3. And then, last but not least, we want some stalks. And this is already as a strip, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Let's find my little tray and we'll pop these in. So I don't think we'll lose the apples, although there's no telling. I can lose anything on these lives of a morning, can't I? But the leaves and the stalks are very definitely likely to go walkabout. So we'll pop them in there. We'll come back to the leaves and the stalk. They don't want to stay at the minute. And I'm going to start by putting in a Granny Apple Green apple. And we'll ink that up. I think we can safely say that that is the wrong way round. And to punch another one. Nothing like trial and error, is there? Let's see if that's better. Much better. So there's a green apple. And we'll give that a little bit of a wipe. We want to be gentle so that we clean it off, but we don't want to move it. And then we'll come in with our Poppy Parade apples. And 2. And let's grab our leaves. Take that off of there for now. See, there was, you didn't want to sit in there before. They were saying, no, no, it's the wrong way round. Don't put us in there. And then for this one, I'm going to use some old olive. One. Two. And 3. And then last but not least, we want our little stalks. Now that doesn't want to go in that way, does it? So that must be the other way. So I've just obviously got my apples the wrong way round. Oh, for goodness sake. They just needed turning round. But that one, you can't get away with it. You've got to get it the right way or it won't go at all. I hope you've all had days like these. You too could have a day like mine. Let's pop that in there, and we'll grab our soft suede. And we could just put the stalks in as they are, but it does just add a little bit of detail to your stalk. And last but by no means least, our last little stalk. Let's move that to one side. I put the lids on these ink pads so that I don't lean into them while we build up our picnic blanket. So we've got 3 apples, 3 stalks and 3 leaves. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dig about and find a white chalk marker. And I'm just going to add a bit of a shiny highlight into our apples. We could also go in with watercolour pencil and just add in a bit of shading around the edge. on this edge. So this is actually a Granny Apple Green pencil that I've got here. That just makes it look a little bit more 3D. Now I don't have a Poppy Parade pencil, so we will go in with a real red one, I think. Again, that will just add in a bit of a highlight. Bit of a shading around that edge. I think I'm going to come in with my pencil sharpener. And just add in. So it's not a dramatic in your face effect. It does just add in a bit of depth of colour. And we'll do the same. And this one, add in a bit more. Now I'll sharpen the pencil. The one you could possibly come in with a little bit, just really softly, is the grey one. Just add in a bit more. Right, okay. And our apples. I'm going to grab some dimensionals so that we can have some laying flat, some building up. So this first Poppy Parade one I'll have as a flat apple down here, and we'll add in a little stalk. Let's turn that stalk round. If you want the wide bit at the top on the apple. And we'll add a little leaf in there as well. And then this Granny Apple Green one, I'm going to raise that up on some dimensionals. Hello, Jackie. And that one will have coming that way, but I'm going to raise it up again. I could get my scissors and actually snip these rather than just tearing them, but it's that sort of a morning. Have that one in there. So then we'll come in with our stalks. I will get my snips out this time. And just snip a slither just there. And we'll trim that off so that we can't see that. We'll have that coming here. With a bit of a leaf. And then last, but by no means least, see if we can get that first slither a bit thinner. And have that coming round here, and that leaf coming this way. Beautiful. Apples eaten outside in a picnic. Can't be bad. Fresh air, good for you. Well, unless it makes you sneeze and cough. It's still good for me. I just have to be careful. So what shall we have for that one? You make me smile. We could have had welcome back, couldn't we, for our teacher's card? You make me smile. Now, let's have a little look. That one would be quite fun for that one, wouldn't it? Now, I think we'll go Granny Apple Green for our label. Let's use this piece of card that we punched 2 apples from, and we can punch a leaf from it as well. Gosh, where has this morning gone? Time flies when you're with friends and having fun. So stitched label. Some memento, I think. Coming in on the side there like that. And to do a double bow with my twine. And let's snip those off. I think my scissors are now very sticky because I trimmed down that. Actually, I might actually put that on top. I was going to lay it underneath, but I quite like it on top. But I think we'll put some dimensionals underneath the label. And that actually is quite nicely placed to cover that little bit of a splodge just there. Just goes to show it's not about making mistakes, it's about what you can do to cover them up. Let's take a glue dot and put our little double bow on there. Okay, I quite like that. I think it's quite bright and cheery, and I'm not going to add anything else to it because I think it would be a step too far. So there we have apples for a teacher to an A+ teacher. So that's an apple that we've coloured in with our stamping blends. These ones we've stamped onto coloured card and then added in some highlights and shading with watercolour pencils and a chalk pen. We could have obviously watercoloured them, and we could have used our stamping white markers. Lots of things we could have done to add colour to those apples. Hi Janie. And we could of course gone completely different and had pumpkins, if that is what we'd have so chosen. But it's not really quite pumpkin weather today. I think it's far more apples for your picnic and apples for your teacher. So thank you for coming along to play this morning, on this Monday morning. Thank you for sticking with me. I'll try and get my brain in gear for tomorrow. You never know. We might be lucky. But it's going to be a busy week this week. As I said, catalogue launch is on Wednesday. So lots going on, lots to look out for. But don't forget, in all of the excitement of looking forward to Wednesday, don't forget, if there's anything in the current catalogue that you want that is retiring and is still available, you only have until around about 10 o'clock tomorrow night to get it. So don't wait, don't delay, get it now before it's gone. But I will be back tomorrow morning, bright and early, well, 9 o'clock. And I will see you all then.